videos,
Mhm.
but you can watch the replay there if you want. All right. So third thing is we can actually work on whatever you want. Now, I know you're trying to get caught up, or maybe you're a little bit behind. Um, you've got to get the stuff over to me. So one way to do that is to share your screen. One way is to send me snip. I'm not sure of the format of your online class. You'll have to maybe talk me through that, but typically we'll be looking at my screen to work out problems, um, depending on what you got. So any questions before we get started?
No.
Okay, so we're gonna go till about 2:55 and see what we can get done. Do you have your classroom pulled up? Do you have some things for us to work on?
Yeah, I do. I just gotta.
Excellent. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make you, I assume you want to share your screen, is that correct?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so here's what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna make you co-host. Please don't kick me out of the meeting after your co-host.
Mhm.
Um, all right, so if you've never shared before on Zoom, there's a green new share button with a little up arrow. You click that, it will tell you it will ask you, what do you want to share? You'll choose it and hit OK. And I'll let you know as soon as you're screen sharing.
Okay.
All right, looks like you're starting to share. That's great. Okay, perfect. Okay, so tell me a little bit about what we're looking at here. Is this do you work this out on the computer? Do
So
you
I
print it out? What's going on here?
so I just type it in the box right now, like the
Okay,
question. Then I submit the assignment like that.
got it. Got it. Okay. So let's see. Let's see. I do turn off my video during the lesson, more for me than for you. But I guess my question to you is like, I don't see the window where you submit, start typing. Sorry, not submit, type. Where show me? Did you just put your cursor in there?
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. Um, I'm gonna grab a snip of this, and then we're going to work on this. I'm actually going to share my screen and you can type in some things afterwards. So does that sound okay?
Yeah.
All right. Now, how is your instructor on grading? Are they easy? Are they difficult? Are they medium? What do you know?
I think that I think they're medium.
Okay.
So like I don't know how to explain it, but
No, that's good enough.
I most
Because I've done a lot of these online systems, I try to, want to gauge, how much effort, because I know you're trying to get caught up here. Um,
yeah.
all right. So this is very much a geometry question. I don't know if how much geometry you've been studying, but things are congruent, and you're gonna have to tell me if you've seen this before, is if they have the same or equal ratio for all sides. Okay, and that's the first condition. And the second thing is that all the angles are the same. Does that at all sound like something you guys are doing in the class?
Um the angles I kind of know,
Okay, so
but
that's for
not specifically.
similarity. For similarity, there's either angle, angle, side, angle, side, or side, side, side. Have you seen those? Seen that?
I seen AA.
Okay. So this is where this is where it's like I'm not sure what to tell you what to write because I'm not the one grading it. Um, so congruent, it generally means that they are exactly the same. That's what congruent means. So I would type something in like that.
Okay.
Are you comfortable to type kind of as we go?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. All right. I wrote it down.
Okay, now for similarity, you need two angles to be the same. And but this applies to triangles. Like it doesn't apply to just any general figure. Um, the reason is that there, what's called the no choice theorem, which may be way out of context for you, but um, it means that the third angle has to be congruent.
Mhm.
Um, so you could probably put in something pretty simple that says they're similar if two of the three three angles are congruent because the third angle has to be congruent. An example is a triangle, something like that. Do you think your teacher would accept something like that?
Oh yeah.
Actually, I'm sorry. That's the answer to. We don't want to use that. I apologize. That's for number two. So
Oh okay.
things are similar. Things are similar if they are in the same ratios of sides. That's probably your best answer for that. And this will be the answer to number two here. Uh,
Okay.
it's kind of like they look the same. It's just one is bigger than the other, and it could be many different types of objects.
Okay. So I wrote it down.
Okay, and maybe I'll look at it at the end if needed. But now we can go on to number two. So for number two, it says how is AA similarity used in terms of similar figures? If two of the three angles are congruent, uh, then we can say the third angle has to be congruent as a triangle. Um, this is like the textbook definition, I guess.
Okay. All right. So I wrote that down.
Very good. Okay. So for the third question here, we got to look at the figure. We really actually are going to answer the fourth question first. The fourth
Okay.
question really is like asking you like, what's your process? And like, so we're just gonna have a little dialogue here where um you kind of give me a few words to like what you see. Like, how do you go from, and we got to get the right direction here, um, red to blue. So this little symbol right here, I guess that's blue. It looks more purple to me. That little tick mark there is called a prime, Prime.
Mhm.
And that's typically the new image. And there's a direction here, like you're going from A to A prime.
Mhm.
It's like when you're traveling, you start somewhere and then you go somewhere else. All right. Any questions on that so far?
No.
Okay, so this is where you're gonna get a little bit involved here. What do you see? Like how would you describe this thing to go from red A to blue or purple? I guess it's blue A prime. Like what do you see?
I kind of see like maybe like a rotation to like a translation and a dilation maybe.
Yeah, you actually hit all of them.
Oh.
Perfect. So yeah, there's some sort of rotation. There's definitely a dilation because it's getting smaller or larger. And then it looks like there's some sort of translation because unless you pick the perfect point, which is possible, but maybe, you know, beyond the scope of this course. Um, so when your instructor says here to use complete sentences, uh, you have to do what they say, right? Like you can't just
Yeah.
say the list here. So you might say something like uh, the the uh, the transformations. It's basically the words from part three. The transformations from the red figure to the blue figure include a rotation, dilation, and translation. You could go beyond that and then talk about why it's a rotation, why it's a dilation, and why it's a translation.
All right. So I wrote it down. I wrote the sentences.
So another thing you could do also is if you ever want me to check it, is you could put it in the chat and I could read through it if needed.
Okay.
This kind of depends on what, what level of assistance you're looking for. I'm here to help you.
Okay.
All right, do you feel like you've got enough for number four, or do you need more?
Oh yeah. I got enough.
Okay. So it's kind of like they ask the same question twice, but it's like you you have the answer. The number they're almost the same question. I mean,
Hmm.
like it's like, well, I looked at it and I saw a rotation, a dilation, a transformation. And then three is just more specific. You want to say that um, you see that those three transformations. And that's where maybe you need to add a few more words to number four and say, well, why is it a rotation? Well, it's a rotation because there's kind of this the point here, and that's why I don't know how specific you have to be. That point looks like it goes with that point there. Um, that's where you might need to add a little bit more to number four in terms of the
Okay.
answer. I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay. So I did it.
Okay. So if you want, you could share your screen, look at it, or you could submit, and we can move on to something else. What would be best for you?
I think this would be fine for him.
Okay. What do you get a chance to redo it if there's an issue, or what's the
So if it's below 70%, he would do a thing where he would unlock it for me so I could get our score.
okay? And can you go to your next assignment now? How does that work?
So yeah, I could just get to the next assignment.
Okay. All right. Well, you want to share your screen here or send over something else?
I'm getting to it right now, but
Sounds
it's
good.
acting really weird right now. Share my screen, right? Sure.
Okay. Okay, so kind of the same deal as the previous one. You're doing a lot of geometry right now, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. You're kind of in the harder stuff here. So let's all right, so I grabbed a snip. So what I'll do here is we'll look at this again on my screen. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and share. All right, so if you're seeing my screen here, you should be seeing that question number one. This one just says, which transformations do you see? Uh, to me, there's two. What do you see?
Yeah. I also see two.
Okay, tell me what you see.
A reflection and a dilation.
So you have to be very specific with the reflection. You have to say over the x-axis.
Okay.
Um, and then dilation, the um, you don't have to, we don't have to say how much, but you might at least say you might have to say larger. Sometimes they want you to be more specific with it, but we can just say larger. Now, now that I'm sort of getting a sense here for what they're looking for. With question two, we want to say that that it's kind of the second word here. It's like, oh, it's it's flipped and the new image is larger than the original. Something like that, I feel like would satisfy. Let me know when you get this down. We'll
Okay.
finish off three and four before we close out for today.
Okay, so I got it down.
All right. So number three here, it says to, in your own words, explain the definition of scale factor. The scale factor is the ratio of the larger side to the smaller side, typically. I mean, this is the usual case. Um, you can also think of it as the value that the smaller side is multiplied by to get
Okay.
the larger side. That's also good answers. I would generally encourage you to try to rewrite in your own words. I can sound a little bit like a textbook because I do this all the time. I don't want you to have issues with your
Yeah.
instructor.
I usually, yeah, whenever I do tutorings, I usually like
Excellent.
rewrite it in my own words.
Okay. Um,
Okay, I got it down.
so there's kind of two cases for number four. There's whether you're going to smaller or larger. So you use the scale factor to either multiply or divide from the known side to the unknown side. And it depends whether it's getting larger or smaller.
Okay.
All right. So you get all that down.
All right. All right, I got it down.
All right. So we're going to stop there for today.